Hi, my name's Bronwyn Jane and I'm a psychic medium and a soul coach. Today I wanted to explore standing in your power, what that means for you, and what the challenges can be of that. Quite often when we maneuver through relationships or encounter situations, we have to make hard choices. And those hard choices may not be well received by other people involved. I'm sure you've experienced it, where you've had to say no or question something because it didn't sit right with you, didn't feel right with you, or even when you could look down the path of what was coming, you knew it wasn't going to be right for you. So you were strong enough to question it or say no. Now, sometimes whoever you're, engaging with accepts that. And based on where they are on their own journey, they can accept a no. But then there's a whole heap of people that aren't used to no. They aren't used to being questioned about things. It actually creates an uncomfortableness in them. Now, they may be aware of it, they may not be. And then what happens is sometimes they can react. So I want to explore when that happens, because if we're lucky enough to be able to deliver a no to someone and the person is secure enough within themselves that the no doesn't create a response, then that's good. We're kind of lucky there. But if we're in the other equation where a no does bubble up in someone, they're not secure within themselves to have that no, then maybe they're not used to a no. Maybe they're not used to being questioned. Maybe they are going into the energy of like, how dare they not do this, or how dare they question me or something. Maybe they go into that. And it's not for us to explore that really, because that's for them to work out. It's part of their lessons and their journey. So we don't want to go into why someone does that. I want to stay on the topic of being in our own power when you are confronted with that. Now, sometimes that can be really, really awful. And it can be awful emotionally, it can be awful physically, depending on that other person. Now, they could be, insecure, and it can come out physically, it can come out emotionally. So let's go in, and I said we're not going to explore why they're doing it, because it's not our purpose to explore someone else's journey. But it's about remaining true to our own power. Now, you may have experienced that when someone does that, they may lie, they may manipulate, they may tell themselves and others a story to the point where they've got everyone around them believing the story, and even to a point themselves, because they're in denial about their part in the equation or even what the real truth is. So it could be that. And once again, if you encounter that, if you encounter lies, if you encounter manipulation, if you encounter deceit, undermining, deception, even people trying to discredit you within your family, your community, whatever your world is, it can be really tough to get through that. Definitely can. And it can be painful, and it can be challenging. But when we stand in our power, even when all that comes in your world, if you remain true to why you said no, or why you question something, that's when we stand in our power. doesn't take away everything that's happening in your world. Definitely doesn't. But if you go back to why you said no, why you stood in your power, it sort of keeps it almost on the peripheral when they're doing that. And I know that, you encounter a lot. I know you encounter lies, you encounter deception, you encounter manipulation, all kinds of things to try and pull you down, to even change how people see you. So I know that that's part of what you experience when you stand in your power. And I know it's hard to remain in your power when that happens, particularly if you really encounter I'm going to say, someone that is really good at being a narcissist or that type of energy. It's really hard to stay in your power because they sort of can be quite relentless. And the impact can be a lot. But when that happens, I'm going to encourage you to go back to, why did I say no? To remember that. Why did I say no? Why did I question what they were doing? And remind yourself why you stood in your power at the start. And because the other thing too is all those other behaviors are a lower energy, they're a lower frequency. And so if you can stand in your truth, and your truth is, it is your truth. And if you explore your whys, why you made your choices, it forms a kind of protection around you without you even being aware of it. It energizes when you stand in your truth and your power, it actually, what it does is it energizes your aura. It just does. And doesn't take away whatever this is happening over here. It doesn't take that away, but it doesn't impact you as much when you truly can do that. So that's why I encourage you to, when it gets hard, and I know I know it gets hard, when it really gets hard, to go back to, why did I originally do that? I'm going to stand in my power because it didn't sit right with you. That's why. There was something about it that didn't sit right with you. And go back to that, because that uncomfortableness is your soul reminding you that this doesn't sit right with you. Whenever something feels uncomfortable, that's your soul going, listen. It just is. So just remember that. And once again, this is going to be hard when we're not applying judgment to the way the other people behaved, or what they're saying, or why they're trying to pull you down, destroy you emotionally, or they could even be trying to destroy you, professionally or financially, your reputation. Doesn't matter why. That's a reflection of them and where they are at. And if you can remember that, because it is true, if you can remember all their behaviors are a reflection of them, stand in your power of why you said no to something, no matter how much fallout there has been to doing that. If you can do those two things, it will get you through the situation. So I'm going to go over it again really quickly. So when you are going through a challenging situation because you have made a choice, and that choice was based on the fact that something didn't sit right with you, your soul was uncomfortable, so you said no in some form. Remember why you said no, and then acknowledge that uncomfortable feeling was your soul reminding you this does not sit well with you. Then remember that everything that is projected at you from everyone else in the situation, whether it be one person, a community, group, family, whatever it is a reflection of them, where they are. We don't need to explore why they're there. We just don't. We just worry about ourselves. We don't need to worry about them. But remember that whatever they say, however they're trying to hurt you, destroy you, whether it be personally, professionally, financially, whatever is a reflection of them. Then go back to why you said no. And do that process. Remember why I said no. Remember whatever they're doing is about them. Then go back to why did I say no? It's about them. Why did I say no? And do that. And when we go back into that why we said no, and we really take a few moments to feel why we said no. As I said, that strengthens our aura. And then all this crazy, whatever is happening here, narcissist behavior, doesn't get into our field. It tries, definitely tries. But the more you go back to that power center, the stronger your shield comes and the less it can get in. So I just want you to remember that, because I know life is a lot. And I know that the people we encounter give us challenges. The other thing that I just want to end on really, really quickly is challenges are a magnificent opportunity to grow. So think about how you've grown through your challenges. So when we're in the challenge, sometimes it's hard to work out how we're going to grow. If you can, great. If you can't, with hindsight, you will be able to see the growth at the end. So I just wanted you to remember that as well, because we don't go through these things for nothing. We just don't. So I'm going to leave that there with you. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you like my energy, what I have to say, I invite you to explore my website, bronwynjanemedium.com. Have an absolutely wonderful day.